Today is part 3 of our comparison of the I Am Universal vlog that Matthias De Stefano wrote with the Law of One Tarot. So with the Law of One Tarot. Oh, now if you want to follow along and you're interested in the Law of One, I actually wrote a workbook. It's right here. This is what it looks like. And it's an analysis of the Law of One Tarot, workbook 1. Go check it out. See, I linked this, but I'm not quite sure how, if someone paid for it, how I would send it yet, but it's also on Amazon. I got to figure that out because Amazon takes a big cut. Anyways, here we go. All right, let's get going. So last time we ended the vlog, the universal vlog, right here. So we ended the vlog, and you can watch the last video, part 2, where the I talks about that there's 3 levels that were created for this 3D. I think that's what it is. And the levels were the universal, and the plans were the universal plan, the galactic plan, and the earth plan. So I read that in the last one. So today we'll start from here. We're going to start from, and for that, they brought the stars to the horizon. Okay, so that's the I Am. The I Am says, for that, they brought the stars to the horizon with this plan here, the universal plan, the galactic plan, and the earth plan. And when I talked about this, I kind of compared it to how Ra divides 3D into 3 levels as well. And how I saw it was the earth plan, the universal plan is the mind complex, the earth plan is the body complex, and the galactic plan is the spirit complex. That's how I saw it. But anyways, let's move forward. All right, so the I Am, the I says, yes, they built the pyramids as portals to the length and breadth of the world, like a stellar network, which we Atlanteans called Aturtumti, heaven on earth, walking with the gods, becoming God. The I Am says, becoming one with all, you understand? And the I says, become one, universus, universe. The I Am says, the expansion of the mind in the different dimensions allowed the only conscious aspect of the universe to use the power of the subconscious and the baggage of the unconscious to be able to place itself as a protagonist of all this information. So the expansion of the mind in the different dimensions, I feel like he's talking about the mind complex in general. So if these are all different dimensions, the expansion of the mind complex is actually so the expansion of the mind in the different dimensions. So the expansion of the mind in different dimensions, to me, when I compare it to the Law of One Tarot, is like this. So we have the superconscious. Once it becomes superconscious, before that it's the patterns of the matrix, right? It becomes a superconscious in the globe, if you remember from the other videos, when the great way is flipped on top of it. So the expansion of the mind is the matrix, the potentiators, the subconscious mind, the catalyst, the unconscious mind, the experience, which is the conscious mind. In my opinion, remember, this is all my opinion. Please comment below what you think. The significator, which is your actual I Am. Transformation, this is all the mind complex, remember, which is the Lover's card, is your unity and balance. Let's just leave it at that. And then the great way, as above, so below, when the superconscious connects with the matrix of the magician. So the chariot connects with the magician, and you live as above, so below. So these 7 here I think is what they're talking about here. So the expansion of the mind in the different dimensions allowed the only conscious aspect of the universe to use the power of the subconscious and the baggage of the unconscious. There you go. So the expansion of the mind in all the different dimensions. So if we look at this and we just look up to the fourth dimension here, the heart chakra. So the expansion of the mind in the sense of, let's call this, I want to call it super conscious for now. Let's just say air. But it's the beginning. It's what roots us, right? We need the super conscious. From there, the subconscious, the potentiator, was able to be created. Where was it created? Right here. I believe that the transformation, all three of these, that's the dimension of geometry, of sacred geometry. That's where the flower of life is created. So this, through a lot of work over billions of years, these people here who are working in this zone, 6th density or dimension, whatever you want to call it, the superconscious, through the flower of life, like through sacred geometry, they were able to create the subconscious mind. Then they were able to create the unconscious mind. Then they created the conscious mind. These all need one another. The reason I'm saying that is because we talked about this last time too. We have yang, we have yin, we have yin, and we have yang. Okay, the expansion of the mind in the different dimensions allowed the only conscious aspect of the universe to use the power of the subconscious and the baggage of the unconscious to be able to place itself as the protagonist of all this information. As we explained yesterday, the conscious being is not the one that manages to control the unconscious like a rider controls a horse. The conscious designs to know the needs of the horse, to recognize it, to understand its history, its emotions without judging it. It seeks to understand it. And only by becoming one with it is the horse useful to direct its destiny. So you know what this reminds me of when they're saying here, he says, as we explained, the conscious being is not the one that manages to control the unconscious like a rider controls a horse. The conscious designs to know the need of the horse, to recognize it, to understand. This understand really sticks out to me. So you have to understand the unconscious's emotions without judgment. So your own emotions, when they come up without judgment, it seeks to understand it, and only by becoming one with it, with the emotion. So maybe the emotion is the spirit complex. Is the horse useful to direct destiny? Okay, so I have a lot to talk about here. So when he says understand, what it makes me connect to with the Law of One Tarot is this right here, the heart chakra, the experience of all of this going on. The reason I say this is because I got to go back and read the Law of One book regarding the tarot. I haven't read it in a long time, but I have the Law of One cards on my walls. I have like 3 different decks. I have them all over. And I don't know when, this is a few years ago, but what I put under for the experience, I don't know if Ra said this, so I don't want to say that, but I put that this density is one of love and understanding. So let me explain. So what I did and why I put this under love and understanding. So I put density 1 as complete beingness, which is really interesting, right? Because complete beingness is a yin. It's a feminine trait. So I put this whole density is just being. Okay. Then the second density, that's the matrix. The second density potentiator, I put as growth and movement. You know what? I feel like maybe I read it through the Law of One series and then I just related it. I don't know. But anyways, so the second density, the potentiator, I have it all categorized as polarity and I have as growth and movement. Okay. Then the catalyst I have as cause and effect, self-awareness, and choice. That's the unconscious mind. Then here, the experience I have is love and understanding. And the reason I categorized, and then the significator is wisdom and light. The transformation is unity and balance. And the reason that understand kind of sticks out to me is because all of these have to work together in a beautiful synchronicity. In order to understand the unconscious mind, remember, this I categorize as love and understanding. You know what? I'm going to have to buy an iPad with where I can write on that. Wouldn't that be fun if I could do something? I'm not really good with stuff like this, technical stuff. I mean, that's why I don't edit my videos, but I should look into that. So I will look into that because I know it'll be easier to follow along. So the experience is love and understanding, all of this. This love and understanding is what opens up the catalyst. It's love and it's understanding the unconscious mind. The unconscious mind, if we understand its emotions when they come up from our organs, from our body, without judging that emotion, without labeling that emotion, that is when the unconscious mind, the catalyst begins to dissolve. That's how I see this. And it creates self-awareness to the emotion that we want to dissolve. And if the spirit complex, all of this is emotion, as you use love and understanding to create self-awareness within of the unconscious mind, so the unconscious mind also has the faith card. Your faith, the star card, expands, which takes this, if this is the wheel of choice, which I sometimes believe it is, or maybe it's the wheel of karma, it starts spinning to the positive. I don't know. That's what I feel. Okay, so then the I says, understanding and embracing the unconscious, accepting its nature and understanding its needs is how the conscious aspect can use all its content to manifest and create the realities it desires. We just talked about that. This was key to understanding because it makes us understand that a spiritual, mental, and conscious being should not dominate or control their unconscious emotions, impulses, but get to know them in depth to understand why they have lost the reins to the horse. And by knowing them, they know how to treat it. You see, it's not about controlling the horse. It's about understanding the horse, even if you're the rider, and flowing with it. So this was the key to understanding because it makes us understand that a spiritual, mental, and conscious being should not dominate. So this spiritual, mental, and conscious being is us. That we're the mind complex. We are a mind, body, spirit complex. The mind, body, spirit complex means us human being. Okay. All right, so let's move on. Being one, universe. This is what we call, the I Am says, being one, universe. This is what we call universal consciousness. And the I says, what would it be exactly? The I Am says, if universe means to return to self, the conscious means to be that discerns, to be that discerns. Universal consciousness refers to the quality of an entity that discerns the way of returning to oneself. So I looked up some of the words because I hate using Siri. So discern, like while I'm doing the vlog. So discernment is the ability to judge well. So if universe means to return to oneself, and conscious means to be that discerns, and we just said discern means the ability to judge well. So coming to consciousness is the ability to judge well. So universal consciousness refers to the quality of the entity that discerns the way of returning to oneself. So how well are you able to discern the emotions that the unconscious brings up just within a second? All of a sudden, you might be triggered. How well are you able to discern those emotions, be with those emotions, not judge those emotions, is consciousness. And the law of one tarot here, the experience, in my opinion, is your consciousness. So it's like the eye. I've drawn this before in some of my vlogs. I'm definitely going to figure out how to use an iPad and record this so you can see it here. So if you think of an eye, so you can look at this as an eye, and you can look at the experience as an eye. And in between these two eyes are the subconscious mind and the unconscious mind, the chaos and the also just unruliness that we have to deal with. And only discernment, when you begin to discern, that is consciousness. And how well can you do it? So how well, if this is discernment, I'm just thinking of this, if this is discernment here, consciousness, and how well are you able to do it? I think the answer is how well you're able to do it is with how much of your vibration connects with love and understanding. That's what I think. Let me know what you think, because I'm very interested. Okay, so then he says, the I am says, so you can understand that the conscious aspect of the cosmos is projected towards the imagination of your unconscious to be refracted in various dimensions, where through the landscape of the subconscious, and I said subconscious is growth and movement, landscape, growth and movement, of the subconscious, you will be able to know, identify, experience each hidden potential within yourself. That's crazy. Okay, so the I am says, so you can understand, now the I am is described just moving from here, right? So the I am says it is so you can understand that the conscious aspects, so the conscious aspects is the experience, the conscious aspects is love and understanding of the cosmos is projected towards the imagination of your unconscious to be refracted in various dimensions. So let's look up refracted. Refraction is of water, air, or glass, make a ray of light, change direction when it enters at an angle. Of water, air, or glass, make a ray of light, change direction when it enters at an angle. So again, sacred geometry, right? This is why we need the squares, the boxes, the circles, Metatron's cube. So there's something here that I'm thinking, but I don't know what I'm thinking yet. So you can understand that the conscious aspect of the cosmos, the stars is projected. It's more than the stars, but I'm just going to say the stars just for me to understand it. So you can understand that the conscious aspect of the cosmos is projected towards the imagination of your unconscious to be refracted, to be refracted in various dimensions, where through the landscape of the subconscious, you will be able to know, identify, experience each hidden potential with yourself. Okay, so you can understand that the conscious aspect of the cosmos is projected. So let's just say for a second, you know how I've talked about before, I believe that the 12 star systems here are the main drivers for main archetypes here. And whatever time you were born, like I'm a Cancer, I was born in the evening, that is when your star system was the strongest light. Therefore, your zodiac is extremely important to understand how you will emotionally act on this earth. The moon cycle is really important too. The moon is mental for sure. But I feel like the star systems it's important to know where, like for me, I like to know where the moon is and where Cancer is. That gives me a gauge of like, okay, these are probably the emotions that I'm going to have to deal with. It just gives me a better understanding of my unconscious mind, basically, and what is going on in my organs. So I feel like what this is saying is it's so you can understand that the conscious aspect of the cosmos is projected towards the imagination of your unconscious. And then it's refracted to be refracted once the cosmos projects into the imagination of your unconscious. It's then refracted. Light hits it from the cosmos, right? Like we read the definition, hits it on an angle, and then it's refracted into various dimensions where through the landscape of the subconscious mind, then you can identify the experience, which is potential, each potential. Here's how I see it. Do you see the potentiator? So here's how I see it. So the cosmos effect come through, right? Our chakras, wherever. The cosmos come through just like the sun does. And they have a vibration. They have an energy. And you can read your zodiac sign if you want to figure out what your main vibration is. So that starlight, I'm just going to call it starlight. It could be more than that. I just don't know. Okay. So this is how I understand it. So that starlight comes through the chakras, the skin, hits up the catalyst. And let's say the unconscious mind is all the organs, and it hits it through angles. And as it's hitting it through the angles, it's dispersing its light energy through into the potentiator, which is the landscape, which is the growth and development. This potentiator is where all of your identity, experience, and hidden potential within yourself lies. That's how I see it. The conscious being is disseminated in millions through the unconscious data. Holy shit. The conscious being is disseminated in millions through the unconscious data, all of which are yet to be discovered in order to know them in detail and see what it is capable of. No kidding. The eye says it's like someone who has read about geography and one day decides to take a trip through deserts and jungles to experience what they read about but never experienced. The I am says, and in this way of reconsiderating, I looked this up for us too. It means to, can I move this? Oh, make a military observation of a region. Make a military observation of a region. So, and in this way of making a military observation of a region, the terrain, you allow yourself to discover much more than the desert or the jungle. But you can also recognize what those environments awaken inside you. Potential, emotions, feelings, ideas, impulses, purposes. This is why the subconscious mind obviously is so important, but also once you hit up this subconscious mind, it is beauty. You are constantly, because remember, I was saying when you flip in the middle in previous vlogs, the transformation flips onto the subconscious mind. You're constantly going through these transformations, and the quicker you go through these like fragments of light, so from the dark, you actually see the fragment of light, because I believe the subconscious mind is the water within your body. You really begin to realize that your potential is so much bigger than you ever knew. Like so much bigger than you ever knew. So potentials, emotions, feelings, ideas, impulses, purposes. The plan burns itself out when he realizes that the external journey was nothing more than a pretext for the internal journey. Everything you live is a dream that the conscious has allowed himself to dream, to discover what he carries. Oh my God, do you guys remember? So he talks about cats, right? We talked about, because they talk about the subconscious mind in one of the vlogs, and he says, yeah, cats live and they see through their eyes. This world is like a dream. And in that vlog, I was talking about the emperor. What is sitting, and this is the conscious mind, in my opinion, and what is sitting inside this box? Inside the box is a white cat. And what did they just say? And this is the experience. This is love and understanding. And he just literally said, everything you live is a dream. It's the cat inside the box of the Emperor card, which is fourth density, heart chakra, love and understanding. Everything you live is a dream that it's the conscious mind, has allowed himself to dream, to discover what he carries inside. It also makes me think a little bit of the faith card. Oh, sorry. No, the faith card is here, the catalyst, the unconscious mind. Maybe, because I said that for a reason, obviously. Maybe the spirit complex of the catalyst, the faith card, the unconscious mind, is the first one that catches those fragments of light when you can see light in the darkness that spreads through the star systems that we just talked about. Maybe not. Okay, let's talk a little bit more and then I'll get going. So, okay, and then the I says, and then I am says, come back to yourself. When a being awakens in his consciousness, it awakens a voracious, I know what that is, need, like a huge hunger, need to know, to discover. The constant search, the yearning to understand. Again, heart chakra, understand. So basically, I feel what he's saying is once you awaken this consciousness, with experience, like, and when I say experience, I mean experiencing the absorption of the star systems, of the sun, even of the moon. Oh, there's the moon card right there in the experience. I totally forgot about that. That's the spirit complex. And moon is everything mental in this world, but it's the spirit complex. It's also like emotions and stuff. So come back to yourself. When a being awakens in his consciousness, it awakens a voracious need to know, to discover, the constant search, the yearning to understand. He begins to search for the truth by recognizing millions of truth, because there's really no truth. And all this he calls universal knowledge. We call universal what encompasses all things, everything infinite, the set of everything that exists. The I Am says, but you know is not to be conscious. But to know is not to be conscious. When one knows, one accumulates experiences, but not wisdom. Yes, wisdom. Wisdom is given with understanding of what is known. Okay, check this out. Where is wisdom and light? Right here, the significant self. Mind complex, the Hierophant. Body complex, the Hangman. Spirit complex is the Sun card. That is a great system. Wisdom. It's wisdom and light. It's wisdom and light. Love and understanding. When you start opening up that heart, you start opening up to light, all light. You no longer care for knowledge. You come from a place of wisdom. Wisdom is given with the understanding of what is known. When you are able to transform what you know and free yourself from the concept you have. What's after? What is after? What is after wisdom and light? Right here, the significator. Transformation. Transformation of the mind is the Lover's card. Transformation of the body is the Death card. And transformation for the spirit self, spirit complex, is the Judgment card. Holy. They all. So, love and understanding. Remember, I always say you have to flip. Higher mind here, lower mind here, heart chakra in the middle. So, love and understanding. So, let's say we have absorption of the light. This absorption of light goes into the organs. Refractal? You know what I mean, right? Itself into the water of your body, the subconscious mind. Water imprints everything. So once the organs do that, your water, the imprint of love, is substantial. When that imprint of love is received, you open up from this pattern of the matrix a little bit. When you open up from this pattern of the matrix and you do it over and over, and this side of the higher self starts flipping on to the lower side, what you will experience through this love and understanding is wisdom and light with all three, mind, body, spirit. And then with this wisdom and light will bring you transformation in thought constantly. With the mind complex, the body complex, and the spirit complex. And I think I should leave it at that. But to know is not to be conscious. When one knows, one accumulates experiences, but not wisdom. Wisdom is given with the understanding of what is known. When you are able to transform what you know and free yourself from the concept of it, that's when you learn to discern. And discernment is in the middle, heart chakra, when you become conscious to the universe. You know what? We're going to end it there, and I will continue the next one tomorrow. This has been fun. Love you guys.